This January, I teamed up with Composite Nation and brought to you my very first Photoshop editing contest, where I gave you this template and asked you to finish it. You guys did an amazing job. There were so many fantastic compositions with unique storytelling. We had a blast going through all of them, and we are very thankful for all of your entries. Well, it is really unpleasant to rank artworks, as I believe art is very subjective, but again, since this is a contest, tough decisions needed to be made. For that, I have with me Mario from Composite Nation as the guest judge, and in this video we'll reveal the top entries along with the winners. The parameters for the ranking are originality, technicality, and overall likability. So even if some pieces have minor technical issues, they can outshine others in the originality of the concept and the visual appeal. By the way, if you want to check all the entries and support the artists, be sure to visit the hashtag Encreate challenge over at Instagram. Alright, without further delay, let's roll it. At first, we'll go over the 30 honorable mentions and then move over to the top 10. The 30 honorable mentions are in no particular order of ranking, and we will try to explain what we liked and also what we felt about the areas of the improvement. I want to mention that all of you guys worked really hard, but there were some entries where the image size was not 16:9 or the placement of the kids were moved. Ideally, those get disqualified by the contest rules, but still it would be unfair not to show some of them which were really good. So here we have a beautiful piece by Roham. The red and complementary green color really pops here. Nice job of putting the kids' silhouette on top of the fire to make the shapes stand out. Unfortunately, your image was not 16:9. This one by Ryan is executed with perfection. It has such amazing realistic blending, but unfortunately it was also not in 16:9, else it would have been much higher up on the list, maybe even in top 10. I'm not sure if Instagram screwed up with the size, but really great job, and I love your concept very much. This one by Cody stands out in the spook factor. We love the misty and terrifying feel the image tries to convey. The green color scheme and the well-handled light shafts does make it stand out from the rest. Here is a unique piece by Mina Ketan. Great work with the clouds. It is very nicely done. Maybe the castle could have a top-down look to match the perspective, but overall really great job. Love the color scheme. Here is another creepy one by Scott. Really eerie ambience. Love the mutated spiders. You could have worked a bit on the highlights and shadows on the spider on the right, but as a whole, great job done. A very pleasing futuristic city by Rohan. This sunset color palette is always a hit. You could have worked a bit on the atmospheric perspective of the tall towers, we believe, but great job as a whole. A nice space scene from Sebastian. Love the color variation with the nebula and the overall contrast of the scene. I feel there could have been a little bit of work on the perspective of the distant house and the cliff on which it is located, but it looks very good as a whole. We love this one by Ban Is. Nice work with the ambience and the mood. The gingerbread house is a real treat. I think the legs of the boys are a bit off, but great overall work. Here is a beautiful piece by The Last Wonder. Such a soft and pleasing color scheme. I personally feel it would have been perfect if the particle effects was a bit reduced. Overall, love it. Here is a very detailed piece by Andy. I really appreciate your hard work in adding all the details. I would have just worked on the shadows of the elements a bit. Overall, love your Giant's house concept very much. This one is by Andreas. Very realistic blending and soft color scheme. You guys need to go to his profile and slide through the carousels, as he has put a story with this artwork and a cryptic message in the image. Be sure to check it out. This piece by Art Designy has a really nice color scheme. I also love the post-apocalyptic scene you have gone for. The pinkish glow from the volcano is surprisingly pleasing to look at. I would have just made the kids a bit darker and corrected the shadows. A very detailed piece by Niladri. Love the concept of the arid land with the water plants. You could have just added a bit of atmospheric haze and made the kids' shadow fade out, but great overall work. Here's a very nice looking piece by Javier. There are many medieval setting artworks, but this one really stands out in terms of color and composition. Great work. Here goes a very well executed piece by Christian. We absolutely love your overall concept. Everything is very well balanced. I would have just faded out the light shafts coming out from the mushroom hut. Great work, by the way. This one is by Yanni Visuals. The color scheme absolutely pops here. Great work with the complementary blue violet and the yellow oranges. I think the tall tower needs to be a little bit darker, but great composition as well. A very detailed piece by Noah. Love the composition and the bright yellow color. I think you could have just added a bit of separation with the atmospheric haze and shifted the elements' tonal values a bit. That way things wouldn't have merged like the whale and the tree on the top left, and it would have looked perfect. But a very nice piece indeed. Here goes a nicely executed piece by Sahasrangshu. The green glows on the backpack really pops with the overall blue tone. He even got the reflection on the helmet correct. Great job. The next one is by JXIME Designs. I don't know how to pronounce your username, my friend. Beautiful composition with the cherry blossoms. We love it. I guess you could have used a bit of negative space to add more balance to the scene, but it looks good anyway. Great job. A solid work by Sudarshan. Nice work on the color tones. The little king and the queen looks totally adorable. The glowing tree looks very cool, but I feel you could have experimented a bit with its position so that it adds more meaning to the scene. Here is a very beautiful piece by Som, an absolute magical take on the composition. The color harmony is well played out with the glows, very amazing and realistic blending. Love the aquarium inside the tree. Thank you very much for your entry. A very magical and surreal piece by Karthik. Unique color scheme in play here. Looks very pleasing and calm. I love the atmospheric effects with the color tones. Great job. Here goes a great one by Wingman PST. You can see some custom paint overs going on here. Love the minute details and the light work. The ambient blooms are a real treat. Great job as always. Definitely a solid entry. A very unique take on the composition by Elton. Love here the Littles inspired piece. Superb work with the lights and shadows. Laurel and Hardy in the television is a nice touch. Lovely concept and composition. This one is by Fabio and is pretty action-packed. I collaborated with Fabio in the past and he's a great artist. The color tones used are really nice. Overall great composition. Here is a simple yet very elegant piece by Derek. The way Jupiter looms over in the scene perfectly conveys the sense of scale, whereas the little cute spaceship complements in a beautiful manner. Great colors as well. The next one is by Chronix. Very beautiful composition. The colors are so popping. This could have been easily in the top 10, but I think there is some issue with the perspective on the top of the pyramid. Overall, very beautifully done. Next we have an interesting piece by Luke. Amazing steampunk vibes. A great sense of dynamics in the scene. Somehow it looks like the perspective of the foreground shape on which the kids stand is a bit off, but a very unique piece indeed. Absolutely stands out from the rest. Another fantastic piece by RGA Edits. Just look at the colors. So pleasing and beautiful. Absolutely stunning work. I'm not sure, but I feel the distant hill could have been a bit darker, but anyways, superbly done. It was really a tough decision not to put it in top 10. Great job. This stunning piece is by Kevin. A very accurate and grim representation of Mordor. Love the dark tones and the complementary colors. I just feel that some of the details are lost as it is pretty dark. Like it has Gollum peeking over here, but I couldn't find it until I looked at the stock images. Otherwise, pretty solid entry. Definitely took us long to figure out if we would be putting this in top 10 or not, but unfortunately it landed just a spot short of the top 10. Okay, with that, let's move on to the top 10 entries. At number 10 we have this crazily detailed piece by Francisco. It is called A Paradise Conquest. Mind-blowing work with the storytelling, transforming the kids and giving a whole different meaning to the template. Your hard work definitely shows here. Only some points like lack of aerial perspective and depth and a little bit of size and blending issues with the mid-ground elements prevented it from putting it high up on the list. Although it has some technical issues, but this piece shines out in its originality and visual appeal. Definitely this is one of my personal favorites. If you think the last one was super detailed, what would we say about this one? On the 9th place, Vasilis crushed it with insane details and the epic One Piece theme. Transforming the kids into Zoro and Nami is totally epic. And the dude doesn't even stop here. You see these posters on the bottom? Hold on, I will show you a close-up. He actually drew us and made our first official portraits. This is really crazy. If you ask me why it's not high up on the list, we think more work could have been done on the shadows and a bit of work on the blending. But honestly, I would have never ever dared to do something like this. We are absolutely honored by your entry, and not because you drew us, but because of your imaginative idea, your hard work and the execution. Here goes a classic Wizard of the Oz piece by Derek, and with that he secures the 8th spot. Very vibrant, cheerful and super clean work. Nice work on the castle by the way. Only a little work on the shadows and separation of the distant objects with a bit of atmospheric haze would have pushed it much higher up on the list. But excellent work, looks very realistic and color rich. In the 7th place we have a stunning piece by Pascal. He's a pro in the field and I do not need to comment on his work, but the image pops out so well. The glows and the flares are so nicely handled. The variation between the background, midground and foreground is done so well that even in a monochrome color scheme, everything comes together and stands out so remarkably. Thank you so much Pascal for your entry. The 6th place goes to this amazing composition by Probably Visuals. Great transformation on the kids, excellent environment creation. Nice job with the cottage as well. The colors look very nice with superb depth in the scene. Even your circular shapes of the trees gel so well with the other curvy shapes on your overall art direction. A brilliantly thought out and well executed composition. By the way, the subtle glows with the butterflies is a really nice touch. Next we have the top 5. They are all equally deserving, but still, let's carry out the unpleasant job of ranking artworks. Here we have an insane piece by Optic Snacks. Well, I am an all-time Dragon Ball fan, but it's not because of that this piece secures a 5th place. Again, you might argue Dragon Ball is not an original concept, but here we feel the originality lies in executing that idea into something like the template that was given. I mean, come on, not only little Goku and Chi-Chi looks adorable, but this composition looks just like a scene from the anime. Everything is so well laid out that I can't keep looking at it. A big hats off to this man for creating this piece. On the 4th place we have this crazy composition by Leah. Although there are kids in the artwork, but it definitely should be rated not for kids. I mean, you see a teddy bear hostage, but who has a beheaded teddy? So horrific. On an actual note, Leah as always did a terrific job with her piece and you can see the results. The color scheme is so eerily pleasing and the axe at the center is very ominous. Kids, you better run before the teddy snatcher comes. Now for the 2nd and the 3rd place, we were totally confused between these two pieces by Renee and Jendi. They were equally well executed with complex element placements and wall building. After a lot of head scratching and close inspection, the piece that wins out is Jendi's. So let's discuss Renee's artwork first, which secures the 3rd place. Overall, a brilliant job done. With ultra detailed world creation, Renee has handled everything so well. The transformation of the kids, the world building, the movement in the composition, the overall balance, everything is spot on. But we feel maybe there is some scope in the lighting. I mean, the lighting is already perfect, but with a bit of more work in the areas of shadows and adding some cast shadows of the trees, this piece would have surely moved up. But a big thanks for your entry, Renee. So here is the runner-up entry by Jendi, and you win a copy of the beautiful Oniric Glow Generator plugin from Composite Nation. Coming to the artwork, it needs no explanation. Although this piece is inspired by the Fallout video game, the post-apocalyptic environment is so well handled along with the complexities and the minute details. The sunset color scheme really pops out and the silhouettes of the buildings and the different structures are so well laid out to define the shapes in a very intelligent way. The atmospheric perspective is also on point. You can also experience the brilliant environment creation as you zoom in. With the empty spacing between the concrete structures, Jendi has managed to display an important part of the midground like these toxic waters, which again adds more meaning to the scene. Overall, hats off to you and a big congratulations. Now that we have reached the final spot, it's time to reveal the big winner. And the winner for my very first Photoshop editing contest in partnership with Composite Nation, if you haven't guessed it already, is this otherworldly composition by Cami. I hope I got your name right. You win a copy of lifetime licenses of the beautiful Oniric Glow Generator plugin and the super handy BreakGen Layers Breakdown Generator plugin from Composite Nation. Coming to the composition, by just looking at it for a while, you can pretty easily say that it wins out in all fields. You can visit her Instagram post to learn more about the concept, but it is a very well thought out piece with a deeper meaning lying at its roots. Her artworks are inspired by music, and this one is no exception. It revolves around fading memories of childhood, and each and every element resonates so well in executing the idea. Cami has shown her incredible compositing skills with a mastery over storytelling. You can literally get lost looking at the intricate details like the uprooted treehouse, the light silhouettes of the fading memories, and all sorts of little objects that tie into the narrative. A big congratulations for the first place and a big thank you for your entry. So that would wrap up the results, but there were other really good artworks that we couldn't fit in the video, but we thank each and every one of you who participated in the contest. We are very happy to have every entry that made the contest possible, and we hope you also had great fun participating in the contest, and all these amazing entries from different artists inspire you to create something awesome. Be sure to check out all the entries by visiting the Encreate Challenge hashtag over at Instagram and support the artists. Well then, I will see you in my next video, and till then, as always, enjoy creating.